Right, Melbourne S sitting at 12 degrees right now, while Darwin S only nudging 24. Yeah, you heard that correctly. The top end is cooler than what Sydney S going to hit this arvo. Is your area about to cop the most dramatic temperature swing we've seen this summer? Because according to the latest BOM severe weather warnings, we've got 3 states under extreme heat alerts affecting over 8 million Australians, and the models are showing something pretty unexpected rolling in over the next 72 hours. In the next 60 seconds, I'm going to give you exact timing for Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, Hobart and Darwin. But first, chuck your location in the comments right now. City or state, doesn't matter. I am reading every single one tonight, and tomorrow S forecast is going to include personalised updates for the areas you lot are asking about. All right, here is what is coming. Sydney, you were looking at 29 today, pushing 32 tomorrow afternoon. Then a southerly buster drops you to 23 by Saturday morning. Melbourne, bit of a rough trot for you guys. Current 12 climbs to 32 by tomorrow. Arvo could even touch 34 in the western suburbs. Brisbane, steady 28 today, 29 tomorrow. But here's the thing. Humidity is going to make it feel like 35, and we've got storms building from about 4 p.m. Perth, you are in for 36 today, 38 tomorrow. Classic February heat with that Fremantle doctor arriving late afternoon. Adelaide, 27 today, spiking to 39 tomorrow. Then a cool change smashes through Friday night. Hobart, you lucky lot, 18 today, 21 tomorrow. Perfect summer weather. Darwin, this is where it gets interesting. 24 now, only 26 tomorrow, because we've got monsoonal activity building. Now, let me show you why Access and the European model are telling completely different stories for the weekend, and why that matters for basically everyone on the eastern seaboard. Currently, Access is showing this massive heat trough sitting across inland New South Wales and Queensland, pumping hot air from the interior toward the coast. The European model reckons that trough shifts east faster, meaning the cool change behind it arrives Saturday morning instead of Sunday arvo. That 12-hour difference, absolutely critical for Sydney, Newcastle, Wollongong, Canberra. We re-talking the difference between Saturday being 34 degrees or 22 degrees. Tomorrow morning's model runs should sort this out. So definitely check back, because once we lock in that timing, I can give you exact hour by hour breakdowns. Let S work through the regions properly. For you lot in coastal New South Wales, Newcastle, you currently sitting at 28. Tomorrow you will hit 31, humidity climbing throughout the day. Port Macquarie, Coffs Harbour, you are in a similar boat, late 20s today, low 30s tomorrow. The far north coast around Byron Bay and Tweed Heads, you are going to see afternoon storms tomorrow, similar to what Brisbane S copping. Inland New South Wales, this is where it gets brutal. Wagga Wagga, 34 today, 40 tomorrow, possible 42 on Friday. Dubbo, 36 today, 39 tomorrow. These aren't just hot days. These are dangerous heat conditions. BOM S got severe heatwave warnings current for central west New South Wales. Victoria, let's talk about this properly, because it's not just Melbourne getting smashed. Geelong, you retracking about 2 degrees cooler than Melbourne, so 28 today, 30 tomorrow. Ballarat and Bendigo, you actually going to be hotter than Melbourne tomorrow. Could see 35 in Bendigo. Shepparton up north, you are looking at 37 tomorrow, 39 Friday. The Gippsland coast, you lucky bunch. Sale and Bairnsdale staying mid-20s thanks to that ocean influence. Queensland, Brisbane at 28 today, as I mentioned, but the Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast, you're going to cop those storms earlier, probably around 3 p.m. tomorrow. Townsville and Cairns, you're in the thick of the wet season, daily afternoon thunderstorms, temperatures steady around 30 to 32, but feels like temps are pushing 40 with that humidity. Toowoomba, you're a bit cooler, being up on the range, 26 today, 28 tomorrow. Rockhampton and Gladstone, low 30s with high humidity. Now, here is something that S got me concerned, and I reckon we need to talk about it at around the 9-minute mark, so keep watching. But first, Perth and WA. Perth, as I said, 36 today, 38 tomorrow. Then here, S, where it gets interesting. Friday, you drop to 34. Saturday, 28. That S, a 10-degree swing in 48 hours. Bunbury down south, you a touch cooler. 32 today, 34 tomorrow. Geraldton up north, you are sitting pretty at 33, 34. But Kalgoorlie, mate, you are in for 41 tomorrow, 43 Friday. Inland WA is absolutely cooking. Broome up in the Kimberley, you are steady around 34, 35, typical build-up season weather. South Australia, Adelaide is going to spike to 39 tomorrow, as I mentioned. But Mount Gambier down on the border, you are only hitting 28 tomorrow, 25 Friday. When that cool change comes through, you'll get the change a full day before Adelaide. Whyalla and Port Augusta, you're in for 40 tomorrow, could touch 42. Port Lincoln on Eyre Peninsula, mid-30s. Tasmania, honestly, you've got the best weather in the country right now. Hobart 18 to 21, Launceston 19 to 23, Devonport similar. It's almost unfair how good you've got it compared to the mainland. Northern Territory, Darwin at 26 tomorrow, but Alice Springs, completely different story. You're going to hit 40 tomorrow, 41 Friday. That's the Australia weather picture right there. Darwin cooler than Melbourne, while Alice Springs is absolutely roasting. All right, if you haven't commented your location yet, do it now. I am serious about this. Tomorrow, S video is going to be packed with specific updates for the towns and cities you are asking about. The more comments I get, the more locations I can cover. Let me show you this model comparison properly because it's fascinating. Access R, our regional model, is showing that cool change I mentioned hitting Adelaide Friday night around 9 p.m, reaching Melbourne Saturday around 6 a.m, Sydney Saturday around 2 p.m. The European model has that same change hitting Adelaide Friday night around 7 p.m, Melbourne Friday around midnight, Sydney Saturday around 8 a.m. That a 6-hour difference for Melbourne, 6-hour difference for Sydney. If you're replanning anything outdoors Saturday, this timing is crucial. The GFS, the American model, is actually closer to Access on this one, showing the later timing. 2 out of 3 models agreeing usually gives me more confidence, but that European model S been outperforming lately on these East Coast systems. We'll have a better idea tomorrow when we see if the models are converging or diverging. Here is the thing about this heat we re-seeing. It's not just 1 or 2 days. Inland areas, you are looking at 4, 5, potentially 6 consecutive days above 35. Wagga, Dubbo, Shepparton, you are in for a genuine heat wave. Make sure you rechecking on elderly neighbours, keeping pets inside during the middle of the day, staying hydrated. This is serious heat. Fire danger ratings are extreme across much of New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia tomorrow and Friday. Total fire ban days are in effect. If you in these areas, you know the drill. No outdoor fires, no barbecues, no mowing during the heat of the day. Bushfire risk is very real with these conditions. Now, that thing I mentioned earlier that S got me concerned, there's one location that could cop something completely unexpected, and I reckon most of you won't see this coming. Around the Coffs Harbour to Port Macquarie region, there's a low pressure system that might develop just offshore Saturday morning. If this thing organises, and it's a big if, we could see an East Coast low develop. These systems can bring massive rainfall in very short periods. Access is hinting at it, European Model S showing it more clearly. This needs to be watched closely over the next 48 hours. The good news is, even if this develops, it looks like staying offshore. The bad news is these systems can shift track quickly. This is exactly why you need to check back tomorrow, because by then we'll know if this is something to worry about or if it's just going to fizzle out. Let me give you the weekend picture for the major cities, because I know you're all planning around this. Sydney, as I said, everything depends on that cool change timing. Could be warm Saturday, could be cool. Sunday looking at mid-20s either way, beautiful day. Melbourne, Saturday, mid-20s if the early change comes, low 30s if the late change comes. Sunday, 22, 23, lovely. Brisbane, Saturday, 27, 28, afternoon storms again. Sunday, similar. Perth, Saturday, 28, 29, sensational beach weather after the hot week. Sunday, similar. Adelaide, Saturday, 23, 24 after Friday night's change. Sunday, 25, 26, gradually warming again. Let me cycle through some regional centres quickly because there is a lot to cover. Albury, Wodonga, 34 tomorrow, 37 Friday, 25 Saturday. Orange in New South Wales, you are up on the tablelands, so cooler, 26 tomorrow, 28 Friday. Broken Hill, way out west, 41 tomorrow, 43 Friday, absolutely brutal. Mildura on the Murray, 38 tomorrow, 40 Friday. Echuca Moama, similar temps. Warrnambool on Victoria S coast, 26 tomorrow, 29 Friday. Much more pleasant than inland. Hang on, let me clarify something about those storm chances in Brisbane and southeast Queensland. When I say afternoon storms, I mean properly built up thunderstorms, not just showers. We're talking about storms that develop around 2 to 3 p.m, intensify through the afternoon, heavy rain, lightning, possibly some small hail. These are classic southeast Queensland summer storms. They'll move through relatively quickly, but while they overhead, rain rates could hit 50 to 80 millimetres per hour in the heaviest cells. The Sunshine Coast and Gold Coast usually see these storms a bit earlier than Brisbane because of the way the sea breeze convergence sets up. Noosa, Maroochydore, you might see storm development from about 1 p.m. tomorrow. Southport, Surfers Paradise, Coolangatta, similar timing. Actually, I should be more specific about wind speeds too. That southerly change hitting Adelaide Friday night, we're re-looking at wind gusts to 80 kilometres per hour possible, potentially 90 on the ranges. Melbourne Saturday morning, if the early change comes, 60 to 70 kilometre gusts. These aren't just cool changes. They re-proper fronts with some muscle behind them. Let me check the extended outlook beyond the weekend because I know some of you are planning ahead. Early next week, Monday through Wednesday, the southeast is looking pretty stable. Temperatures in the mid to high 20s across the capitals, no major systems on the horizon. The northern wet season continues doing its thing. Daily storms for Darwin, Cairns, Townsville. Perth stays beautiful, low to mid 30s. But there is another heat burst building for the inland areas mid next week, potentially hotter than this current event. Now, if there is one thing to remember from this forecast, it is that this weekend, cool change timing is still uncertain. I cannot stress enough how different Saturday could be, depending on whether that change arrives early or late. We're talking swim at the beach versus stay inside with the aircon. Check back tomorrow because that when we all have solid answers. The models reckon next week, heat event could be even more widespread than this one. We might see Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne and even Sydney all copping heat at the same time, which would be significant, but that 5, 6, 7 days away and forecasting specific temperatures that far out is pretty rubbish, honestly. What I can say is the pattern looks hot. For tonight, most of you are in for warm to mild conditions. Sydney overnight low around 22, 23, Melbourne dropping to 15, 16, Brisbane staying muggy at 24, Perth 19, 20, Adelaide 17, 18. These aren't particularly cool nights, which means tomorrow's heat builds on already warm conditions. If you on the coast, anywhere from Newcastle down to the Victorian border, sea breezes tomorrow will be crucial. They'll likely kick in around 1 to 2 p.m, dropping temperatures by 3 to 5 degrees within an hour of arrival. If you can, plan outdoor activities either early morning or late afternoon when the sea breeze has arrived. Inland areas, you don't get that relief. The heat just builds through the day, peaks around 3 to 4 p.m, then slowly decays into the evening. If you're in Dubbo, Wagga, Shepparton, Mildura, any of those inland centres, air conditioning isn't a luxury. Tomorrow, it is a necessity. Ocean temperatures, since I know some of you are wondering, Sydney beaches around 22 degrees. Beautiful for swimming. Melbourne beaches 19, 20, bit fresh, but still swimmable. Gold Coast 26, 27, absolute bathwater. Perth 22, 23, lovely. Adelaide 20, 21. These temperatures are pretty typical for this time of year. Bit of a mixed bag for surf conditions. Sydney and Newcastle 2 to 3 feet tomorrow. Clean conditions in the morning, bit choppy in the afternoon with the sea breeze. Gold Coast 1 to 2 feet, not much swell around. Perth 3 to 4 feet, good offshore winds in the morning. Victoria surf coast 2 to 3 feet. Better Saturday with the swell filling in. The UV index across pretty much the entire country tomorrow is extreme. We're talking 10 plus in most areas, 11 or 12 in the northern regions. Slip, slop, slap is not optional, it's mandatory. The Australian sun is no joke, especially in February. Look, I know forecasts beyond a few days get pretty uncertain, and I'm not going to pretend I know exactly what's happening next Thursday. But what I do know is tomorrow, forecast will be more accurate than today, Friday, it will be more accurate than tomorrow, and so on. That why coming back daily makes sense. Each day we get better data, better model runs, better certainty. For tomorrow specifically, here what I am watching. Those model runs at 0-100 hours tonight and 0-600 hours tomorrow morning, specifically looking at that cool change timing and that potential East Coast low development. BOM will update their warnings overnight. By tomorrow, Arvo, when I put out the next video, we'll have 12 hours of new data to work with. And seriously, comment your location. I am getting better at covering regional areas because of your feedback. Last week, someone asked about Emerald in central Queensland, and I'd honestly never included it before. Now I am checking it regularly. Your comments make these forecasts better. Tomorrow's video drops at the same time, around 5 p.m. Eastern. I'll have updated temperatures for every location I've mentioned today, plus whatever new ones you've requested in the comments. We'll nail down that cool change timing. We'll know if that East Coast low is developing, and we'll have a clearer picture of next week S-heat. Appreciate you watching. Genuinely. Weather affects all of us every day, and hopefully this helps you plan around it. Stay safe in the heat, especially inland areas tomorrow and Friday. Check back tomorrow for updates, and comment your city below. See you tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern.